When I reached the place, the sun had already set. An old, desolate alley in West Miami. It seemed like a vending machine for chewing gum, but actually it contained soft marshmallows. Damn cat! A TV in bits and pieces. Boxes, empty bottles of detergent, junk. Hey, are you okay? No answer. Not even a twitch or perceptible movement. Then I realized how things really were. The man wasn't breathing. What the?
Lazarus Bundy. Forgive this production, but I can't be with you in person for reasons beyond my control. The young Mulzberg's kidnapping is just the first piece of a complex puzzle, a plan which, if not stopped, threatens to drag all of us to our doom. I leave the responsibility in your hands, Detective. Kathrin Mulzberg must be found, and her kidnappers brought to justice. Look for my symbol.
I forced myself to interpret all this like a very bad joke. I failed. I started with the conviction to end my challenge with Ramos, and yet I found myself receiving a brand new one. The tone of that man suggested only determination, not a single trace of mockery, nor even a perceptible tremble. That guy really believed what he said. I immediately realized that he wasn't a mythomaniac. Racking my brain would have been useless, so I decided to go back home and sleep on it. Maybe the night would bring much-needed insight, and the next day I'd know what to do. As was happening more and more often, I hadn't slept much, and I almost had the feeling I dreamed everything. Had I really received a bloody challenge from a lunatic with a mask? I needed confirmation, and the HPD office seemed the best place to look for it. Today's Miami Harbinger. Who knows if it might suggest something interesting. I had to go to Mulzberg's mansion as soon as possible. To do that, I faced two problems. I had to convince Seamus Burton to give me access to the crime scene, and recover the keys that kept Green Dart imprisoned, which I accidentally dropped in the sewer. It would also be useful to visit the alley again, where, just a few hours before, I received the challenge. In the daylight, some new clue might emerge. The hike from the previous evening was enough. I had to regain possession of Green Dart. Without a badge, it didn't make any sense to show up at the villa. People tend to be reluctant to speak to a detective with no credentials. Furthermore, I still had to retrieve the key. Maybe I could retrieve the key to the lock by regretfully climbing down into the sewers. Maybe I could retrieve... Lifting the manhole cover with my bare hands was an undertaking beyond my physical abilities. Hey, Wheelo. I'll go check the level of the sea's saltiness to verify it's up to code. Hey, Wheelo. I need permission to enter, Wheelo.
The HPD is not open to civilian. You should know that full well. But if you need to press charges, let me know.
I came to visit Seamus, Wheelo. Is it necessary to be part of the CIA to see him?
Curious that you mentioned the CIA.
Oh, God. Let's just do this old school. You scratch my back, and I scratch yours. Deal?
Actually, there is one thing an ignorant peasant like you could do for me. Do you see that red sports car?
It's impossible not to see that fireball.
A fireball parked for 3 days in a spot reserved for a public official, namely me. I tried to have it towed, but they just ignored me.
I can't imagine why, but okay. I'll make that car disappear sooner than you can formulate another conspiracy theory.
If you need technical support, let me know.
I'll go check that traffic light to be sure it's coordinated with the next one. I had nothing else to ask him. She was planning to commit to film every detail that might be worth showing to her relatives. That fountain was horrible. I didn't know why she took pictures of it so earnestly. She was planning to commit to film every detail. That fountain was I had nothing else to say to that face.
Hey, you! What are you trying to do?
I was checking that all tools are in compliance with the security regulations for roadworks.
Are you a trade unionist?
No, I'm just a citizen who values the safety of our good masons risking their lives every day.
If you really care about your health, leave those tools alone.
So long as the mason was alert and careful, I wasn't going to be able to take anything from there. Was it really worth it? Was it really? I'd wait for the right moment to enjoy one of my... The magnet wasn't strong enough to attract the tools. Maybe. The mason was building a wall and across he had... She was planning to commit to film every detail that might be worth showing to her relatives. She was planning to commit to film every detail. That fountain was horrible. I didn't know why she took pictures of it so earnestly. Putting it in my pocket was out of the question. I'd have sullied my amazing coat. If needed, I could have used it on the spot. Ramos was everywhere. The wall had recently been stuccoed, so it definitely had more refined look compared to the rest of the building. Maybe I could take advantage of this weakness. I would need something with which I could vandalize the wall. He was getting down with that guitar. Hey, Wheelo. I'll go check that there's no government spy hidden behind that palm. Would it be useful to get rid of the sports car? I couldn't do anything with bare hands. What I needed was a tool suitable for that purpose. The fountain wasn't especially elaborate, and to tell the truth, it also seemed out of place. It emitted a hypnotic water jet, though, neither too violent nor too calm. Hey, Wheelo, do you mind if I borrow this marker for a while?
What do you have to do?
I can use it to get rid of your illegal Parker.
Alright, go ahead and take it. I prefer the old methods anyway.
I will never understand why you keep using quills instead of normal ballpoint pens.
Pens contain microchip for satellite tracking. Didn't you know that?
No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't see a good reason to do that. I was all out of ideas. I thought it was better to look for another. I didn't understand how that could I thought it was better to look for another solution. Was it really worth it? I thought it was better to look for another solution. The mason was built. He had. I consider myself a bad boy exactly for these kinds of ideas. Hey, boss. Some punk must have targeted your amazing brick wall. There it was. The kleptomaniac's heaven. Found an adjustable wrench, a worn out but still usable mallet, and a brand new measuring tape. I didn't understand how that could If the parking culprit lived nearby as I suspected, he would certainly witness the disaster that was about to befall his roadster. I let the water pressure do the rest. Now, it would just be a matter of time. The place is all yours, Wheelo.
Lazarus Bundy. What a chance encounter.
And things go from bad to worse. Man, I didn't realize how dirty Green Dart was. I really need to deal with something else right now. Come back later, okay?
Information can't wait. But above all, it's the American people who can't wait. They deserve to know. And right now, they are crying out to hear what law enforcement is doing to protect the great country which is America. In particular, what Lazarus Bundy is doing to prevent a dangerous criminal from continuing to slaughter innocent people.
Well, I could tell you about how my brain practically spilled out of my ears from the beating I took just to save a girl. But then your article would read, Detective Bundy loses brain and culprit.
That means you had some gray matter left when you let the metro artist and the nightclub gigolo slip through your fingers?
Is giving nicknames to criminals the best you can do? Apart from appearing just when something goes wrong?
Gotcha. You're admitting the last case went wrong. Rumor has it that this umpteenth failure was also your last failure, Bundy. Rumor is that Seamus Burton refused to have your back after Blowtorch, the monster that shook Miami, escaped capture.
Rumor is also that a certain detective could sue a certain imposter for slander.
Do you want to stand against the freedom of the press? I have the people on my side.
Are you talking about those morons that read your sensationalist and deflammatory stuff?
Very well. The Red Scarf Detective insults honest citizens.
Why am I still talking to you?
Because I'm about to give you a loophole out of this spiral of failure. In 2 days, I'll be shooting a special in front of Ramos's house. A program in which I'll reveal all the info I have on live television, whether provided by official sources or not.
And I should be that official source, I suppose. You know, I think I'll respectfully decline your your proposal.
I got wind that the detective in charge of the case had voluntarily let David Ramos get away. According to a credible witness who wished to remain anonymous for safety reasons, there could be a history of corruption behind this.
I've never accepted a bribe in my entire life, Brad. You know that full well.
That is your truth. Do you think it's intriguing enough to become the preferred truth of the people? The ball is in your court, Bundy. It's up to you to decide whether to shoot it or pass. Bye-bye.
So that harpy had chosen her scapegoat to sacrifice to the national press. What was I supposed to do at that point? Would I go back where it all started, or would I let them tear me apart without even trying to defend myself?
Hey, Lars. Was Gwendolyn Pratt the woman you were talking to?
What? Don't be silly. You know Pratt avoids me like a plague. Never mind that. What do you have to say about my parking job?
Yes, an impressive performance. Although I'd have done it faster.
Stop wearing out my eardrums and grant me permission. This is my modified temporary pass. I was sure I lost it years ago.
I kept it as a symbol of your egocentrism. You're the first and only one to ever insist on having his photo on a temporary pass.
I didn't need to show it each and every time. The camera had a long-distance automatic recognition sensor. I didn't need to show it each and every...